be mastered. The first one is derivative, the second is integration, third is optimization, fourth is related rates, and number 5 is the fundamental theorem of calculus. Go. For the constant rule, if f of x equals c where c is a constant, then the derivative equals 0. So, any number na constant na walay variable, automatic, ang kanyang derivative ay 0. So, example, f of x equals 10, derivative is 0. Negative square root of 3, derivative 0. 5 pi, of course, the derivative is 0. Pause. For the product rule, so ang the product rule mo, ano yung lisod-lisod nga part, but the derivative is, look at this. Ang gagawin natin is, kopyahin mo natin ang first, tapos, derivative ng second, tapos, plus, kopya, derivative ng first. So, kopyahin natin derivative ng x squared minus 3x. So, ang derivative ng x squared is 2x. Derivative ng 3x is 3. So, ito yun. Kopyahin naman natin yung second. Derivative naman nun. So, that is 3x squared. The derivative is 6x. And then, simplify. You've got 12x cubed minus 27x squared minus 8x plus 12. Sa quotient rule naman, ang ating denominator at saka numerator ang ating kukunan ng derivative. So, ang gagawin is low the high minus high the low. Malalaman natin na minus kasi doon tayo kukuha ng derivative sa bottom. So therefore, kopyahin ang g, tapos derivative ng first sa taas, numerator I mean, tapos minus, kopyahin ang taas, derivative ng denominator over the denominator squared. So example nito is 3x plus 5 over x squared plus 4. So to find the derivative, unahin natin kopya ang x squared plus 4, tapos derivative ng 3x, so that is 3, minus derivative ng ilalim, tapos times sa taas, divided by sa ilalim squared. So, you've got 3x squared, 3 times x squared plus 3 times 4, 12, then negative, i-distribute, negative 3 times 2, that is 6x squared, negative 5 and 2, that is negative 10x. So, isi-simplify natin, ito na yung sagot. Ito yung trigonometric identities. These are the derivatives. For sine, cosine, negative, tangent, secant squared, cotangent, negative cosecant squared, secant x is secant x tan x, and cosecant x is negative cosecant x cot x. Exponential function, so kopya lang. Ito ang pinakamadali. E to the x is e to the x, the derivative. So, ito yung hindi na-discuss. Ang derivative ng e to the x ay e to the x. Ang derivative ng exponential function na a to the x is, kopyahin natin ang a to the x, tapos lagyan natin ang ln of a. So, for example, 2 dyan, 2 ang mga a, ang x ang ating kukunin. So, for ln of x, 1 over x, yun ang ating derivative. Supposing we need to find the derivative of cosine squared x plus secant squared x. Of course, this is a sum, and we know that this is an exponent. So, the first one is to get the exponent, and that's why we have 2 there, and then cosine x. And we know that the derivative of cosine is negative sine x. And then, this is now the complete derivative plus 2 power rule. Then the second here x. And then the derivative of secant x, of course, you have secant x tan x. So, that's the derivative, negative 2. So, negative 2 cosine x sine x. That is the simplified form. Plus 2 times secant squared x tan x. So, for the question of what is the derivative of 3 to the 2x times e to the x, so this is new. We know that the derivative of 3 to the 2x, this is constant, so this is the derivative. We have to write 3 to the 2x, a to the x, ln of a. So, if a is 2x, you have to write 2x here. That is the pattern. Times e to the x, because this is the product of 2, so that means derivative of this copy plus copy derivative, or derivative copy plus copy derivative. So, derivative of that is this, copy plus copy this one, or say copy this one, 3 to the 2x. The derivative of e to the x is e to the x. So, that's why we have 3 to the x ln 2x, derivative of that, copy. Then, derivative of that is e to the x, then copy 3 to the x. So, for that, we have 3 to the 2x is the common, and then e to the 2x, e to the x is the common factor, and you've got ln 2x plus 1 as the factor. So, that is 3 to the 2x, e to the x, 1 plus ln 2x.